Hey, what's up, everybody? Good evening. It's good to see you, and it is good to be seen by you. I hope you're all having an absolutely tolerable day and that everything is going at least more or less in the same direction you want it to. And who am I? I am Bill Sylvie. I am the Dungeon Delver. I am your purveyor of classic RPG content on this thin little wedge of the internet. Won't you join us this evening? So, welcome back, everyone. I have a great lot of stuff to get through, both in the live stream and not in the live stream. And we're going to get through some of it together. We could get through all of it together, but I wouldn't put that burden on you guys to help me with my homework like that. So anyway. Bill Sylvie's Destiny's Champion, Fate's Full Eternity Soldier, Time's Tool. Yep. Sometimes I do feel like that a little bit. I'm a veteran of these psychic wars. Anyhow, so the first thing I want to set aside, because it's the first order of business with a capital B to do with the channel, we did not fill the reservation order for the Owl Bears. So we're going to put that aside. We may try the Owl Bears again. If not everybody wanted them this time around, then maybe next time around. So the next prints we will be doing will be something a little special. I think you guys will like. I've talked about this before. It is a 32 millimeter, really. I mean, you say 28 millimeter to an old grognard like me, and I'm talking about a mini that's like 1 1/16 of an inch tall, and to modern gamers, 28 millimeter is like that tall, So we will be printing miniatures, tabletop miniatures there. I just dispensed with your scale silliness of Warduke. AD&D Warduke miniatures. Once I can make the right prayers to the machine god and get the old 3D printer cranking away, I'll show you guys some prototypes of those, and that will be 2 sets. There's 2 different poses, so you get 2 minis and 2 minis in a set, and we will do $20, and of course 10 for each of those. Well, Jack, with regard to the prints, I don't print until an order fills. So I don't have any. So anyone out there who is like, because I know 7 of you did want the Owl Bear sets, and there's some folks who only know because I mentioned it on Facebook week before last, and I'll have to reach out to them and say, hey, we're not doing the Owl Bear prints because we didn't fill the order. But that's just kind of the way it goes. So I'll prototype up a couple of Warduke minis because he's in the classic sword raised pose, and then there's another one he's standing and getting ready to backhand with a sword or following through with a swing. I can't remember which. You guys will see it, and that will be 2 sets or 2 minis per set, 1 in each pose, and they will be $20 for the 2, which I think is a pretty fair price considering the iconic nature of Warduke. So, with that said, other channel business relevant to the channel and to things that are going on with the channel. I'm going to take a almost direct hit from a hurricane again in the next 36 hours. I don't know if I'll be on and broadcasting. I don't know if I'll have power. Power could go out tonight. So things that I had in the pipeline for this week, including things that didn't even relate to the channel, have gotten very telescoped because of preparation and concern and stress and everything else. Maybe we'll do a Hurricane Strike Night impromptu live stream tomorrow or Thursday, whenever the hell it's supposed to get here. A couple of people, so a few weeks ago, we had a couple of my players, Tonka Todd and Ricky Maru, both sent very delicious recipes in. And I said, hey, submit your recipes for Dead Rat Stew. And the one that I pick is the best, or Dead Rat Porridge. The one that I select is best. You'll get a 3D print. I will print you up something nice. I won't just send you like a factory second, as it were, of stuff I've already printed. I will find a cool thing to print for the winner of that. So I am going to make those, make the decision about those before Friday. But what happens with my electricity, my house, my situation, I don't know if I'll be around to announce, who got their recipe picked. I'm just letting you guys know, because it's freaking me out a little bit, if I'm being entirely honest with you. Now, one other game related thing, and then or one other channel related thing, and then we're going to jump into Deities and Demigods, which I am led to understand you guys enjoy. If I'm wrong about that, please say so over in the chat and say, we don't want any more Deities and Demigods. Please shut up. Talk about Gangbusters or Boot Hill or Top Secret or Star Frontiers. Enough of this Dungeons and Dragons crap. If that's what I hear, then that's the way I'll go. But I think you guys are enjoying it. But before we get to that, Wednesday is typically when we play Classic Traveler. Classic Traveler on live stream for you guys out there in the whole wide world to watch us perform. And I am a player of it. I do not game master. The game master for that, the referee, is of course my lovely Australian co-host Kyle Schuant, who is just an incredible guy. He's an outstanding guy. He is no small part of the ongoing success of this channel on many levels. Kyle, unfortunately, his one of his children has been ill, so that's been something that's taking up time. And of course, if one of my family was ill and I needed to, I wouldn't be here. You guys would have to watch reruns, right? So that's kind of taking priority. What we do tomorrow night, if I can do it, it may be Hurricane Watch Party. I may just sit here and drink and we'll talk hurricanes and so on. If he's not up to GMing, maybe we'll have a Nerd Council of Doom. The player as Sapphire, she had joined my non-streamed late Monday night game. So maybe she'll have some first impressions from that. I don't know. So I have run my mouth now for exactly 10 minutes. And we're going to jump straight now into Deities and Demigods, because that is all the channel stuff that we need to talk about. So we talked about the Japanese mythos most recently, and the book is in alphabetical order. And that brings us to a lovely section of the book, which Luther has been setting the tone, because he's been reading ahead and knows where we're going tonight. And that is, of course, the Melnibonéan mythos. Now, for slightly similar reasons, the Melnibonéan myths and the Cthulhu myths in Deities and Demigods, and by the way, that is an absolutely gorgeous font. They fall under the same legend of accessibility. They're not in readily available copies of Deities and Demigods PDFs that you can buy almost said Gods, Demigods, and Heroes, legend and lore, the things that you can pick up for 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks on eBay or what have you. And the reason is, at this time, Chaosium were publishing role-playing games that used the Melnibonéan myths and H.P. Lovecraft's work as a backdrop. They still have Call of Cthulhu. That's still theirs. But no longer the Michael Moorcock stuff. So once again, for the people in the back, James M. Ward himself, the author of this book, outside of the legal department, there was no corporate wrangling. He just asked them, is it okay if we do this? And it was an enthusiastic yes from the folks at Chaosium. The problem was not Chaosium. The problem is not the nature of the content of these myths. The problem was within TSR itself, and it was the Bloom brothers. Brian and Kevin Bloom had firm control of the financial, not the creative side of TSR at this point. They didn't want another company's products to be promoted within TSR's own works. Which is probably why, after a certain print run, White Dwarf Magazine, their mailing address is deleted on in the Dungeon Master's Guide. And it is certainly why these two myths were removed from here. Jim said, hey, let's keep it a 144-page book. I'll come up with two more sets of myths. And the Blooms were so cheap, realizing they could probably save 1.7 cents per book by not having 2 pages of paper in there. And by the way, if you know anything about printing, you know that printing is done on giant sheets that are then folded multiple times and cut. It's not like printed on an individual page that's glued into the book, right? So basically, these 2 sets of myths represent 2 giant 4 foot by 4 foot, or however big it is, pieces of paper. And so being the cheap bastards that they were, they said, no, just keep printing it like it was. And they made the change so fast that the cover splash and the interior text of the book, only the table of contents was changed, refer to the whatever it is, 18 or 16 mythos, when it was now reduced by 2. Emurian, I like that. I like that name for this font. I see this logo over here, and I wonder if that is a little DP, maybe Darlene Pickle, the artist Darlene. That was her nom de plume at the time. But anyway, so yeah, there's no quote unquote, well, it was forbidden by the Blooms. But once again, TSR was not sued. They did not sue. They were not sued by, and they did not sue Chaosium over this. There was never any legal wrangling. This was just stupid, purblind greed on the parts of the Blooms, because they couldn't stomach the idea of someone seeing Chaosium's works. Now, let me tell you something. As a D&D consumer in the day, as a D&D consumer in the day, I never, ever looked at these myths and felt like I wanted to go buy Chaosium stuff. I had a role-playing game. It was Dungeons & Dragons. I had Basic and Expert, and I had Advanced D&D. Why would I want another role-playing game? I had Star Frontiers if I wanted another role-playing game. This being, 12-year-old me. And having lots of, they viewed it like TV channels of the day. Like back in the 1970s and 80s, unless you were super rich and had one of those time-shifting videotape recorders, when you sat down to watch something on TV, that was what your eyes were on. Right? At 6 o'clock, you were watching one of the three major news channels. Or maybe you were watching the McNeil-Lehrer News Hour on PBS. But that was how you were getting your news. And it was one place and one place only. No go-backs, no do-overs. If you missed what Cronkite or Safer or Rather or Peter Jennings or Tom Brokaw was saying, you missed it. If you weren't watching Cheers, you were watching something else, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is what the Blooms thought of discerning gamers. If they had known about this, and I know that's mostly D&D, shut up, and this, they might have had a very different attitude. Just because I buy one role-playing game doesn't mean I cannot then go buy another role-playing game. And this is what they ruined this book. Well, they lessened this book over. So I present now then the other expurgated mythos, the Melnibonéan mythos. And we start in Jim's inimitable style. British author Michael Moorcock, who, by the way, himself personally was okay with this inclusion because it would bring more notice to his works. I'm not a huge Moorcock fan now, but when this book dropped, oh my gosh, yes, I was. Chronicles of Corum, Hawkmoon, Elric, of course, just on and on. I loved his Champion Eternal stuff back in the day. We're jumping into the pulsing cavern. Hey, this is a family show. British author Michael Moorcock created a race of magicians on the Isle of Melniboné who grew strong and then waned weak with the passing of aeons. The stories revolve around the last king of the isle, Elric, an albino. This being is forced to leave his home, and his adventures present the reader with an amazing number of deities, monsters, and heroic beings of many different types. The gods of this mythos are different from others in that they occupy many planes of existence at the same time in thousands of different bodies. Thus, their plane is listed as special. Every avatar is connected in some way, and the deities are all aware of all of them simultaneously. The deities are constantly trying to gain control of one plane or another for the forces of law or chaos. When a god takes physical form in a specific plane, it may take only one of its character class attributes into that plane to work with. In other words, if a god has 20th level abilities in magic use, clerical, and fighting abilities, that god can only take one class of abilities when materializing on a particular plane. In their plane of origin, these gods possess their full powers and are able to use them to control a large part of that plane of existence. Tonka Todd says, I'm sorry I'm late, I had to vote. Don't vote, it just encourages the bastards. Aside from Arioch, there are other gods of chaos mentioned, but these are not dealt with in detail in these stories. Those wishing to have those gods in their game must specify their powers. Among those mentioned are Hebarim, Balan, Malak, Stortor the Old, Balone, Matharim, Aesma, Alistor, Soibus, Verdalet, Mizvicum, Balo the Jester, and Chekala of the Flame Body. The gods of chaos use a symbol of 8 red arrows radiating from a small circle. The law faction uses a single amber-colored arrow pointing upward. The lawful gods are described even less than the chaotic ones, with Dawnblast the Justice Maker, the only one mentioned. They all appear on the prime material plane as slim, perfectly formed humans dressed in beautiful silks and wearing feather-like armor, using slender weapons of incredible power in battle. Master types. These beings live in other dimensions called half-worlds, demi-planes. In these worlds, every animal of the earth has a ruler which is the most perfect specimen of its type. They are all dangerous if dealt with from a position of weakness. It seems that every species is aware of the need for some sort of deity. Therefore, in the cases of dogs, for example, all dogs worship their own image, which in turn becomes Roofdrack, master of all dogs, who has the cutest god name in this entire book, Roofdrack. Arrows of law. There are 20 arrows of law in a quiver, each of which will always hit and kill one chaotic creature, save Earth's death applicable, and normal longbow ranges. Black crystal door. Made of interdimensional metal that will not break and cannot be affected by magic, a black crystal door will only open with the proper word. It has the power to drain all of the magic spells from any magic user that tries to magically open it. It will also permanently drain the power of any device that is used against it. Nenorian stones. These gems are sometimes, 5% chance, found as the hearts of demons that had more than 80 hit points. Their function is to awaken a sleeper no matter what put them to sleep, or raise the dead no matter how long dead. They will function only 1 to 4 times, and only 15th or higher level clerics can effectively use them. Let us continue. A bibliography. Michael Moorcock's Elric series consists of the following volumes, all published by Daw Books, New York, in paperback. Now, I got my volumes from the Science Fiction Book Club. There was the Elric Sagas Volume 1 and the Elric Sagas Volume 2, which are apparently now pretty sought after. Because I guess some licensing lapsed or something like that, but if you can find them for cheap, they're a great way to get all the Elric sagas. Oh, thank you so much, Geek Nerd Game. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is correct, Brodo. Rakir the Red Archer used arrows of law. I love your work, Geek Nerd Game. I don't know what your work is, but I'm sure it's awesome. Anyway, let's see. It's all published by Daw Books. By the way, Daw, D-A-W, stands for, I believe, David Allen Wallesheim. I'm sorry, Donald A. Wallesheim. In paperback. Elric of Melnibone, the Bane of the Black Sword, the Sailor on the Seas of Fate, the Vanishing Tower, the Weird of the White Wolf, and Stormbringer. This popular series is highly recommended to all AD&D players. Elric, Hero. Armor class 6 or -6. Move 6 inches or 15 inches. Hit points 45, variable. Number of attacks 2, damage and special, see below. He is chaotic evil, a 10th level cleric, a 5th level druid, a 15th level fighter, 19th level magic user, 10th level illusionist, 10th level assassin, with some pretty good stats. And by the way, most of the art in this section is done by Jeff D, and it really fits really exceptionally well. Right around this time, Marvel had done an early run in their Epic Impressum of the first couple of Elric novels. The art in those cannot touch what Jeff D did here. This is, in my opinion, the greatest artwork that Jeff ever did for TSR is in this section. And these scans are blurry and bleedy, and they don't do the original books anywhere near justice. The fact that Elric is an albino causes him to be very weak, and he must use artificial means to supplement his strength and constitution. He makes strength potions for his own use out of rare materials. As he travels about, there's a chance that the materials he needs to give him greater strength are not available. At any given time, there's an 85% chance he has his needed materials, and his strength and constitution will be up to 15. These may be altered by his magic sword, Stormbringer. See below. He employs a great many spells of unusual nature, as he has the magical studies of all of his ancestors to draw upon. Yes, the Witcher is a plagiarized Elric. Elric has a conscience of a sort, and sometimes tries to do the honorable thing. I think Elric shifts pretty much into neutral territory throughout. I don't think just leaving him as chaotic evil is just. But he is responsible for much evil also. He often rationalizes that the ends justify the means. He is very arrogant towards most humans and extremely vengeful, and though he views the power of stealing souls through Stormbringer with great distaste, he does it anyway to survive. Jim, I'm sorry, I think that's kind of a simplistic view of Elric. Elric and his race are familiar with the other planes of existence and have traveled them in the distant past to visit the gods in their home planes. Such knowledge has made this race the most powerful magic users of the prime material plane. It also gives Elric a large advantage in that he can call on the forces of great power to aid him in dangerous situations. He possesses 2 magical artifacts of great power that enable him to survive in a world very hard for his sort to live in. The Ring of Kings, this large ring made out of a single rare Melnibonean Actorios gem, has 3 main functions. It acts as a ring of many spell storings into which Elric can place any spell or spells he wishes. The ring aids him as the royal heir in summoning creatures from other planes to help him, and the ring also resembles a rod of rulership in that after calling on these, he can command their assistance and expect to get it. Long ago, Elric's royal ancestors forged pacts with the elemental lords and many of the master types. With the Ring of Kings, Elric has a 70% chance of summoning any one of them and their lesser minions, and an 80% chance of controlling them when they arrive. Without the ring, he only has a 20% chance to summon and a 30% chance to make the summoned ones obey him. Well, it said 2 artifacts. What's the other one? Oh, right. That one. Now, as much as I have heaped praise upon Jeff D's artwork in here, I do think that Michael Whelan's representation of Stormbringer is superior to this. Although Jeff's depictions of Stormbringer and Mournblade in other plates in this section is better than that also. So, you know. Stormbringer. This huge black rune-carved blade is actually a chaotic evil sentient being from another plane, which takes the form of a sword on the prime material plane. Stormbringer is possibly the most powerful magical weapon possessed by a mortal anywhere. It has an intelligence of 18 and an ego of 20. It is +5 to hit and damage, and every time it hits, it drains energy levels from its opponents. On a successful hit, it will either drain all or 1/2 of its opponent's remaining levels, 50% chance of either. Any creature killed by Stormbringer has its soul or spirit as well as its energy levels sucked out and devoured. No creature so killed can be raised, resurrected, reincarnated, or brought back in any manner whatsoever. And fair listeners, if Stormbringer frightens you, it should. Stormbringer transfers the stolen levels to Elric in the form of Elric in the form of strength and hit points. For every 2 levels stolen, Elric gains 5 hit points and 1 strength point. Elric's strength can be increased to a maximum of 23, but the only limit to the amount of hit points he can acquire is that the sword will only drain 200 levels before it comes sated. This satiety lasts 8 hours. The strength and hit points added last 10 turns, and then Elric reverts to normal. So Elric can potentially have 245 hit points for up to 10 turns or 100 minutes. Catch him on an off day if you want to ambush him. That's all I have to say about that. In battle, Stormbringer makes an evil, eager moaning and gives off a weird black radiance. Creatures with less than 5 hit dice confronted with a black blade must save versus death or flee in panic. It has been known to act as a dancing sword at Elric's command, but there is only a 15% chance of this. If Elric is separated from Stormbringer, there's a 60% chance that he will be able to summon it to him, even from another plane. Stormbringer is in all ways evil. Its purpose is to eat souls, thereby damning them to a horrible eternal death. Sometimes, in battle, Elric and the sword go into a killing frenzy and slay everything within range, including Elric's friends whose souls the sword particularly enjoys stealing. No, the sword, the energy levels that the sword gives Elric are very temporary. He's just an incredibly accomplished magic user, assassin, illusionist, fighter. So yeah, that's Stormbringer. He's bad news. It is bad news. Moonglum, who is neutral. He's a fighter, a thief, and a bard. Again, beautiful artwork. I love it. He's got like this pirate thing going on. He's got like, I don't know, Dave Mustaine kind of hair happening. I am here for it. I love it. Born to be a companion to heroes, Moonglum came from the distant east. Ambidextrous, he fights with a sword in either hand at no penalty due to his high dexterity. He is the friend, helper, procurer, and servant to Elric in many of his travels. Always dapper and looking for his next meal in bed, this mortal deals with the earthly matters that his companion Elric has no time for. Fear of Stormbringer makes most enemies attack Elric, giving Moonglum many openings at their unguarded foes. He cheerfully slays any who would attack Elric, though his friend's evil tendencies worry him at times. Moonglum is kind of the Jiminy Cricket to Elric. Not a good one, though. And this fellow, Arioch, Greater God, 379 hit points. Of course, he's chaotic evil. 20th level cleric, no healing spells. 15th level fighter, 20th level magic user illusionist, 15th level assassin, 10th level bard. Variable charisma, note that. The god Arioch usually takes his magical or fighting abilities into the prime material plane. This god of chaos is Elric's patron. He always disdains the use of armor in battle and fights with a sword that also acts as a rod of cancellation. This sword appears in any plane where the god takes his fighting attribute. Those who know the proper rituals may attempt to summon Arioch from his home dimension. Would-be summoners who pledge themselves to him and offer him human sacrifices may request aid or advice from Arioch, and if it suits his mood and increases his power on the prime material plane, he may grant their requests. Arioch is arrogant and short of temper. He expects a great deal of effort to appear incredibly handsome to whatever kind of creature he is dealing with. Assassinator of the Gods. This is a chaotic evil being with 100 hit points. This terrible creature has the form of a humanoid with 50-foot wings. It is covered with peacock-type feathers. It's sometimes sent by the gods of chaos to kill their special enemies. It attacks with its talons as an 11-hit dice monster. Its wings have a 50% chance of fouling any weapon used against it, so that the weapon will not hurt the creature that round. I am back. I lost internet connectivity. Am I live? Can you guys? Oh, Damien can see me. Can you guys hear me? Let me ask you that. Hi, Mike Dimart. You have the Wheel of Chaos as your user logo. The stream died at the end of Arioke. Appropriate place. Okay. Let me open it back up. We had a power outage here. So, yay. That freaked me out for many different reasons, not the least of which was losing my stream. I don't like power outages. I do not like them, Sam I am. All right. But hey, 8 people have come back. That's good. That's good news. And by the way, if you're new to the stream, if you're a new sub here, we had a couple of people who've joined us. Please click that subscribe button, click that like button on the video if you like it. Click the bell icon for notifications. Too much Delver for the internet to handle. Well, that may be. That may be. So we just finished up with Arioke, right? I'm getting all out of sorts here. And so we move on to the Assassinator of the Gods, which is where I lost you guys. Maybe the Assassinator of the Gods was sent after me. Maybe that's what happened. The Assassinator of the Gods. It is a chaotic evil bird man. And let's see, we're going to move things around here. I'll put this over here and do that. And thank you all for coming back. I do appreciate that. Share screen, share screen, share screen, share screen. And add to stream. So the Assassinator of the Gods is a big bird man. This terrible creature has the form of a humanoid with 50-foot wings. It is covered with peacock-type feathers. It is sometimes sent by the gods of chaos to kill their special enemies. It attacks with its talons as an 11-hit die monster. Its wings have a 50% chance of fouling any weapon used against it, so that the weapon will not hurt the creature that round. Luther is really into his Melnibonean myths. The Darzi hunting dogs, which are not dogs at all. Clackar. These are low intellect, chaotic, evil creatures of 8 hit dice. They have treasure type G. They are 25% magic resistant. Resembling winged apes, these creatures are perfect gods and are often used as such. They cannot be affected by magical fear and are never surprised. They attack with their powerful clawed hands. If both hands hit a single opponent, a Clackar will do an additional 1 to 8 points of damage by rending. Now, Kyle, if you're watching this live stream, apes, giant winged apes, they're everywhere. They're in the Melnibonean myths. They're everywhere. The ape cult knows no bounds. This is not Clackar, by the way, but it is an awesome drawing. Darnazhan. Among the, by the way, he is a lesser god, armor class -8, 2 attacks for 6 to 60, 95% magical resistant, neutral evil, the evilest evil. A dirty clenched fist. He is a 20th level fighter, 14th level druid, 15th level magic user illusionist. Amongst the dead gods, Darnazan was the greatest. These beings with godly attributes ruled over all before the day of the gods of law and chaos. He was the god of the earth, but now fears all of the new gods that roam the plains. He will not come near a new god or one of their creatures. Darnazan cannot be hurt by manufactured items of any type. There is a 5% chance that he will attack those that dig deeply into the earth, more than 100 feet, if they are not associated with law or chaos. This god fights with his fists, doing 6 to 60 points of damage with each. Good looking fella. Charisma 16. Darzy Hunting Dog. These are not dogs. Created by a long dead race of wizards, these beasts are half bird and half dog. Bird dogs. They have the legs and body of a wolfhound and the talons and head of a giant hawk. These things are faultless trackers and able to follow a scent for up to a week old. They hunt in packs and attack with claw bite routine. Dragons of Melnibone. Though they come in many colors, these dragons are similar in nearly all ways to red dragons. They are used in war by Melniboneans as steeds, and they are feared by all enemies of this race. Their breath weapon differs slightly from that of the standard red dragon in that it is a blast of a highly volatile liquid, much like Greek fire. The range, cone, and damage are the same as for red dragons. The dragon riders are reluctant to use their dragons in battle except in extreme emergency, as the dragons always return to their caves and become dormant for long periods after great exertion. A Melnibonean dragon will sleep a number of years equal to its age level after any prolonged activity. Dawnblast, the Justice Maker. A greater god. 400 hit points. Damage per attack 17 to 44. 3 to 30 plus 14. 50% magic resistance. Lawful good. And just 25 across the board for everything. He is a 20th level cleric, a 25th level fighter. Surprised he's not a paladin, to be honest with you. 30th level magic user illusionist, 15th level monk and bard. So what's up with Don B? This god is incredibly powerful, so much so that beings of less than the 12th level fall down and worship him no matter what their alignment. He was driven off the prime material plane by the forces of chaos and waits to be summoned back, for he is called the Justice Maker and intends to do just that if given the chance. His weapon is a rod that incorporates a group of several weapons, a mace of disruption, a hammer of thunderbolts, and a rod of lordly might. It does 3 to 30 points of damage on a hit. The weapon comes with the deity to any plane where he takes his fighting attribute. The Illinois. Vicious red-headed women. I wonder if perhaps Michael had a bit of a run-in. The Illinois. They are neutral. They are fighters. They get 3 attacks every 2 rounds, do 1 to 10. They have 55 hit points each, 95% in-layer treasure type A, 10 to 100 appearing. When summoned, the Illinois appear as tall women with flaming red hair and shark-like teeth. There are some subtext here, Michael. Is there something you'd like to talk to us about? But I digress. Let's move on. They whirl two-handed swords to deadly effect. They fight as 10th level fighters and fear no enemies save for the Grolix, who come from the same plane as the Illinois. If the Illinois are summoned to fight on the prime material plane, there's a 5% chance that the Grolix will appear at the same time to combat them, even if none of the opponents of the Illinois know the spell to summon them. If these ape-like, again, with the apes, enemies appear, the Illinois will break off whatever they are doing and start fighting their hereditary enemies. You kind of wonder if the Illinois are approachable at all. No, not for prurient reasons. I just mean, you know, if you summon them, will they talk to you or just do what you summon them to and then just disappear? That's a good point of view there. Unicycle. That is, yeah. I mean, when Elric killed a fire god and absorbed its energy and was dying from that amount of energy, he was literally about to explode, and Dawn Blast showed up and took the destructive power away, but left him with the actual energy. And as I recall, Elric's reflection on it was that it was like the purest, most wholesome he'd ever felt in his entire life. Awig, I'll take your word on that. Felite, Lady of the Birds, Demigoddess. Chaotic Neutral, worshippers align chaotic neutral birds. 176 hit points, 2 attacks, 10 to 60 per damage, 5 to 50 for her beak. Pretty good stats. She's a 40-foot tall golden eagle with a wingspan of 120 feet. She has the ability to sense anything seen by any avian type. Her wings and beak are terrible weapons, but she usually calls upon 1 to 100 of any type of predatory bird to do her attacking for her. Hey, a butcher bird is technically a predatory bird. Can you imagine just one butcher bird showing up on her behalf? As with all the other master types, she does not have a human following, but all avian kind do her homage. And here's some Illinois and some Growlix going at it. And the Growlix. Love that Growlix drawing. Damage per attack, 3 to 18. 70 hit points. Armor class -2. 20 to 200 show up. Growlix are mortal enemies of the Illinois and will only travel from their home plane to combat them. They appear as giant ape-like humanoids and have a strength of 22. They attack as 15-hit die monsters, using nets, shields, and ropes of tremendous strength and mass in battle, as well as bludgeoning with their fists. Their only goal in life is the death of the Illinois race, and after defeating them in any battle, the Growlix will then kill themselves as well. They will unalive. Sorry, I had to answer a question in private chat there. Grom, I seldom pray to you. Lord of the Earth, King of the Land below the roots. Kind of a simplistic drawing there, but it works. It works. He's neutral. His symbol is a petrified oak. His plane is not special. It's the elemental plane of Earth, Jim. Why'd you tell us they were all special? The King of the Earth Elementals, Grom can cross any body of water without penalty, can use any spell involving plants, like Locate Plant. Animals, the earth, or things affecting the earth. As a 50th level spellcaster and can summon 1 to 20 16-hit die earth elementals to fight by a side at any time. That's potent. Grom looks like a huge, gnarled and earth-colored oak, though he seems much more dense and powerful than any plant could be. No barrier, magical or otherwise, can withstand the force of his fist. Grom has few mortal worshippers, but earth elementals and creatures living under the ground pay him homage. The Kelmane Warrior, yes, but we're not there yet. Hashtag. A demigod, 197 hit points. Neutral all the way across. 20th level fighter, that's it. Hashtag. Appears much like a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex. If after summoning him, the caller lacks the proper means to send him back, he or she will eat the caller and then disappear. Or he will eat the caller and then disappear. Returning him requires the power of a wish. Creature does 7 to 70 points of damage with each bite and never misses. Om nom nom nom. While he has no human worshippers, he is revered by all reptilian types. He is aware of anything within the sensing range of any lizard. Kakatal, the Fire Lord. I think this is the one that Elric killed and absorbed his soul with Stormbringer and got the ultimate heartburn. Hashtag. He's the he's the Tarascosaurus. Sorry. Well, spiderweb hanging down there. Kakatal, the Fire Lord, chaotic neutral. 289 hit points, armor class 2, number attacks 1, 6 to 48. That's potent. He's an 18th level fighter and has some magic usury spells. A Lord of the Fire Elementals, Kakatal is able to use all fire spells as a 30th level spellcaster. The heat of his body does 4 to 40 points of damage to any who come within 20 feet of it. He strikes with his flaming fist for 6 to 48 points of damage. No amount of water or fire can affect this being, and he can summon 1 to 10 16-hit dice fire elementals whenever he wishes. While he has no human worshippers, all fire creatures pay Kakatal homage. David S. LaForce, and Fire Elemental sort of looking confused there. We are still waiting, by the way. I know we were slated to start D&D at 9, but we're still waiting for one more player to join up. The Kelmane. Drawing is just so badass. I'm going to zoom out here so you guys can kind of take that in its full glory, or as much as it'll allow. Again, that's Jeff D artwork. And the Kelmane are a savage race from the dimension of Limbo. They have golden skin that appears to be carved out of rock. They are humanoid in shape and have square eyes. The Kelmane fight in golden-colored armor and usually wield gold-colored broadswords. When summoned, they will fight on the summoner's plane until the battle is won, then keep the land they have fought over. They appear in fighting forces of 10 to 10,000, depending on the power and desires of the summoner and the referee's discretion. The bulk of their army are first-level fighters. Additional leaders are as follows. And there's our third for the night. And you can see the table there. 5 first level get an additional second level. 10 get an additional third level. 50, 250, 1,000, 5,000, and 10,000. Thus, if 10,000 Kelmane troops appear, they will be led by 1/8, 2/7, 10/6, 45th, 204th, 1,003rd, 2,002nd, for a total of 13,253 Kelmane. If 10 arrive, there will be 1/3 level and 2 second level. You get the idea. Helmet of ultimate awesomeness. Yes. Kind of wonder if the Kelmane are fans of the USC Trojans football team. A feeling they would be. Mirklar, mistress of catkind, chaotic neutral. She's a demigoddess. A giant saber-toothed tigress is the usual form of this being. When summoned, she will rarely choose to appear in person, but will work through a cat in or near the area. She's able to see from the eyes of any feline at any time. If she's forced to come herself, she will attempt to kill the caller. While there are not many human worshippers of this being, all cats do. Misha. You know Misha. Misha, Lord of the Wind Giants. Lesser God. Neutral. Air elementals. Some pretty decent stats. He's the Lord of the Air elementals and as such has control over many beings from the elemental plane of air. In 3 melee rounds, the being can form into a 30-foot high whirlwind that does, a 30-inch high whirlwind, which could be 30 yards out of doors, that does 6 to 60 points of damage to all it touches. This force has a bottom diameter of 6 inches and an upper span of 18. Misha can strike normally for 8 to 64 points of damage. He's not affected by any physical weaponry launched into the air at him and can summon 1 to 20 16-hit die air elementals to aid him in any battle. He's able to use all spells involving weather and wind as a 20th level magic user, druid, or cleric. He's not worshipped by any humans, but you know what air elementals do. Mist Giant. So what happens when your first level fighter throws a spear at a hill giant? They Mist Giant. Thank you, Brodo. It has been a long time since I've read the Elric sagas. Mist giants are strange and evil denizens of the swamps with white fog-like bodies. They have a shapeless head with yellow eyes atop their form. They have forearms ending in long talons, and their lower body portion forms a giant snaky mass that can slither over the tops of bogs and water, easily supporting the more massive upper body. They are chaotic evil, by the way. The creature is rarely seen in a fog or mist, 90% invisible, and cannot be heard in such places. It surprises prey on a 1 to 5 on a d6 in fog. Yeah, it's a giant evil slimer. More dags. You like dags? He's unique. Now, he's not given godlike stats or anything. 80 hit points, armor class -4, has some treasure. This being, once one of the lords of chaos, now appears to be a storm giant. He defied the other more powerful lords and was demoted to mortal status. It is his responsibility to guard the shield of chaos, a device which protects against all the forces of chaos. When using this device, no blow, arrow, spell, or other magic item used by the agents of chaos will hurt the holder of the shield, but only if the attack is from the front. This heavy round shield is 5 feet in diameter and emblazoned with an 8-arrowed symbol of chaos. Mordags fights as a 15-hit dice monster. He will guard the shield of chaos to the death. And this is Mr. F Around, and this is Mr. Find Out. The Murren Winged Guys. That's a typo. It's supposed to be more Daga. Again, it has been forever. I will take your word for that. They're neutral good. These are our first good guys outside of Dawnblast. Like, just of groups of monsters that you could encounter. These are the first good ones so far. Rockin' that mohawk. and making it look good. Winged humanoids with hawkish faces and a wingspan of 10 feet, the Murin are very fond of fighting in the air and try to avoid combat on the ground. When they are reduced to less than 5 hit points, they will fly away, leaving their comrades to continue the battle. They will generally use swords in battle. Their hereditary enemies are a race of giant owls. Who? Nirain horse. They're very rare. They are neutral 10 hit dice. Horsies. With 3 attacks, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, and 2 to 8. A horse of this type appears to be a great black stallion, Todd. It can shift into the ethereal plane at random times, and thus there is a 25% chance that any successful hit will not inflict damage on a Nirain horse. These creatures can gallop continuously for 48 hours, Todd, passing with equal ease over both water and land, and flying over chasms or other impediments when necessary. Members of this magical race of horses will only be lent to mortals who are in the direct service of the primary forces of neutrality. And again, that's another Dave LaForce drawing, of course, DSL. And we're going to wrap on the state bird of Florida, which I can't pronounce that. Master of the insect swarm, the king with wings, is apparently an MMA fighter with that title, right? He's a demigod. I'm a god. Armor class -2. 300 hit points. Damage per attack, 4 to 40, plus poison. Fear aura, 40 feet tall. He's neutral. He's got a lot of great stats. Wisdom 3. I mean, he's a bug, you know. You bring a big bug zapper and just, oh, look out, here he comes up. Bzzz, thud. Okay, that's we're good. I can believe it. I can believe it. Anyway, this giant mosquito with a wingspan of 140 feet would fill any being with horror. It hates to be summoned. There's a 55% chance that it will do what the summoner asks and then attempt to kill him or her. Beings of less than 8th level will run from it in fear if affected by a fear spell, no saving throw. Any creature hit by its proboscis must save it poison -4 or die instantly. Even if they save, they will suffer 4 to 40 points of damage from blood drain. While this being has few human worshippers, all insects worship it. And look at that SOB. This is bad news. The wings are actually illustrated. It's just this scan isn't good. Can a magic user I suppose if they really, really wanted to, a continual light spell and some kind of shocking grasp spell crafted just to go on it. If they wanted to waste their time doing that, then they were certainly welcome to do it. Nur-Ah, Master of Cattle. Oh, I said we were going to stop with the giant mosquito, but we'll talk about the Master of Cattle, and then we'll wrap up, and then we'll get to playing some AD&D. Yeah. Armor class -2, 200 hit points. Neutral, cows. Not much to say here. Looks like a giant cow. It is totally pacifistic, and its only function is to cure the sick and wounded. It can cure or raise any creature once per summoning. Any being with a wound or loss of hit points will not be able to attack this deity. When Nur-Ah has few human worshippers, it is worshipped by all bovines. I would dare say that probably a lot of people in Wisconsin are Nur-Ah worshippers, right? Okay, so we are going to break it off there. We have about a third of the Melnibonean myths left to go because, yay, power hiccup. And we have a lot of stuff to go. We got Lord Pyre, Roofdrak, Master of all dogs. Oh, Harold Lotus snuck some in there. Vampire Trees, Strasha, Theleb Karna, Vulture Lion, Ziombarg, Yurkun, and then that will wrap us up. And then we get into the Nawan mythos. The coolest deities so far. I'm glad you like them. They're pretty interesting. I think the Nawan mythos are going to be a lot of fun too. They have some good deities. So that is to consider. So, yeah, that does it. And I don't know if I'll have electricity tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able to stream. I mean, technically, I could attempt to stream from my phone, but who knows, right? We did okay during the last storm, though. I'll tell you that much. And I had power literally through the entire thing. I was never without electricity. Grumpy Old Slant says Moorcock came up with some pretty crazy ideas. I know he created Elric because he was disgusted by Conan. He read like one Conan story and decided that it was awful and misogynistic and violent. And he created an anti-Conan who is equally awful, misogynistic, and violent, but he's a weak, skinny albino. So yay you, I guess. How would I stat rack here? Ranger, lots of Ranger. Just off the top of my head. So again, we are setting aside the Owl Bears. On to the next. We'll see if you guys buy into that. You're making a bugs. If that's what you want to spend time, money, experience, and potentially a point of constitution to do, you do you. Now, if you're new to the channel, and we did pick up a couple of subscriptions, welcome. It's good to see you, and I thank you. You might notice the crab is pointing at something there. You can support the channel. You can support us on Patreon. You can support us on Subscribestar. You can PayPal us direct, or you can buy me a coffee. All those are options. You don't have to. The biggest, bestest thing you can do is to give the channel a thumbs up. Give it a like. And subscribe. And bell icon for notifications. And put your comments under the videos. So you can absolutely do any of those things as you like. But there are some who have elected to, and I always like to take a moment to say special thanks to Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien247, James F. Keck, William Smith, The Dungeon Minister, thank you, Padre, Manny Wall, Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, Todd Sharp, Carnivore Farmer, Rob, Jeremy Rule, Bo Ganora, Mikey Mank, Sky Hernstrom, Pete Sullivan, the DM's Council, and of course, Baron Von Headbanger. Thank you all very much for contributing to literally keeping the lights on around these parts. I appreciate it greatly. Plug the Discord. I'll have to... You're making me launch Discord. When my PC went down, it says like, oh, you're gonna turn it, you gotta turn it off and turn it back on to fix your networking problems. No problem. Got some updates to install, buddy. So that kind of sucked. So anyway, if you want to come to the Discord, you can. And there's the Discord. Now, if you're watching this like years in the future, if I'm even still on this side of the dirt, that won't work That's not a permanent one. Every time I try and create a permanent one, it doesn't work. It just works for a little while. So you guys have an absolutely wonderful evening. Now we're going to shift gears, but not by much. This is like going from 4th into 5th. We're going to play some 1st edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. As I like to say, my D&D games, these are not scripted. These are not... There's no... there's no previously discussed plots with these. They know their characters' lives hang in the balance. All right. So without further ado, let us welcome our players. Abner the Magic User, played by Mark. Abner Cadabra, if you will. TK as Sir Outlier, the Dwarf. Doomsword Deathmaster, bringing Turgo. So good evening, gents. Good to see you all.
I'm alive.
Hello.
Okay. It has been 2 weeks, though. I missed it.
It has, and I'm just glad that we could all get together. It's been a bit of a hectic time. So without further ado, because there has been some ado, where are you and what are you doing?
We're in some godforsaken hole in the ground, fighting some godforsaken lizard men.
Troglodytes.
They're still lizard men.
Well,
with a godforsaken...
I'm being pedantic. It's Abner.
With a godforsaken rogue and a magic user and a slightly less godforsaken dwarf cleric.
Yeah,
as well as, I think, 6 hirelings?
Some hirelings. Yeah,
hirelings and a henchman. You do also have a henchman.
Okay.
All right, so let me just get my troglodyte notes here real quick.
I don't think I missed anything, did I? No, I think that was pretty much it. I did burn a whole person already, it looks like. Yep. But that's it. So actually, I'm pretty gassed up on spells.
Yeah, we had quit after basically our first encounter with the Trogs. We had come back from Abner being sick in Greyhawk City and being healed. Come back, say, let's get the troglodytes. First encounter, you used Harold Person, I used Sleep.
Yeah.
And now TPK. Cue the TPK.
Pretty much everything got pretty much everything died, and now we are going to be on the receiving end.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just I need to pull up my map because you guys, there we go.
Maybe they'll summon that Meldibudian god, the Hartak, whatever it was called. Great name.
I hadn't seen those deities before, so these ones are actually really fun for me.
Oh yeah, because this edition of the Deities and Demigods that we're working from is pure unobtainium, I feel no shame or remorse in saying raise the Jolly Roger, yo ho ho, and all that, and find yourself a copy out there 100%. On the worldwide internet. Now, let me tell you something. If Wizards of the Coast gets their heads right and decide, hey, you know what, we're gonna mend all the bridges and everything like that and make that available again, then don't. You pay for it.
Bill. One thing your show does actually that I don't think you realize is that when you read out these deities from this book, you actually help people like me a lot. Because it means that I don't have to go and sit and read them. It's actually like that part, like the fact that I can use it as an audio reference. That's what's killer.
Well, I'm glad to provide a community service. I'm sorry you have to sift through sarcasm and jokes to get the info. Probably lots of pausing, backing up a few seconds. All right, he's making jokes with Todd again. All right,
listen to yourself at ×3 speed sometime. It's great.
No, I never listen to myself. If I can help it at all, I do not listen to my recordings, which is why I generally don't do pre-recorded videos. Although I'm fixing to start doing that with RPG Tales of Glory, because frankly, there's too much negativity in this world. There's far too much negativity, and everybody's got a D&D or other role-playing game horror story. I want to flip the script. All right, I'm going to start doing awesome stories. I have a bevy of my own, and I'm going to set up some kind of way, some kind of forum, some kind of message board, some kind of way that you guys can post them, and I will select them, and I will read those in pre-recorded videos. Cool. Because again, there's too much negativity out there. So that's coming. That may be a New Year's thing. That may be an after January thing, because Lord knows I've got just so much on my plate right now. Has anyone heard from Lord Corion? No, I have not, and I am genuinely concerned about Lord Corion.
I poked him the other day.
Nothing. You did?
Yeah, nothing.
Huh. Okay. Alrighty, so you guys are in, you're in a cave. You have fought a small group of troglodytes that was squaring off against you. And they look like they're still forming up. You had cast Hold Monster on a few of them, or Hold Person, rather, which does work on troglodytes. It appears to be maybe 10, 12 of them in here. Obviously, some of them are now held, so we're just gonna go down. And you know what? I'm just gonna say in my notes here, we're gonna call held, and held. Okay. So, Mark, what is Abner doing?
Abner would like to cast Sleep again, but hopefully not get the dog again this time. Can he cast Sleep towards the back of the troglodytes?
What is the range on Sleep, please? I don't have my place.
Yep, I've got it here. It is 80 feet at my level.
Yes, you absolutely can.
Then I will place the Sleep spell near the back of their group.
Okay. TK, what is Sir Outlier doing in this round?
I'll start by casting Bless.
All right, and Turgo.
Yeah, and how far away from me are these guys?
Let's see. Let's have a gander at the old map. Let's put it up on the big board. Or let's not. 73. So say that group is here. So they're about 40 feet away.
Right. And I recall that I had my bow out, actually, now that you mention that. Yeah, I'll shoot.
Okay, and your fighting man, who when I lost his character sheet when I rebooted. Let me see here.
Darwesh?
Yes, thank you, Darwesh. What are you having what are you ordering Darwesh to do?
Yeah, he should stay behind until missile fire and whatnot's over with, because I don't think he has a bow. Which, speaking of which, maybe we should give him a short composite bow or whatever, now that Abner's got the treasure worked out. But we can do that obviously when we get back.
He is not bow proficient, but he will add that to his list of things to do. So, Mark, please roll initiative for the side.
3.
It is a tie. Missile weapons are going to go first, and so basically, you guys are going to get a bunch of javelins thrown at you. This is all simultaneous, but if you guys want to fire your missile weapons first, you may.
Does my sleeps go off after their missile fire?
Yes, that is after. This is rearing back.
That's going to miss. My first shot misses.
Alrighty. So they have a volley. They are throwing javelins. So I almost threw a roll command into the chat there. That wouldn't have worked at all. I'm just gonna have to grab a fistful of D20s. All right. So there's effectively each of you is getting one. That is a miss on Abner. That is a miss on TK. That is a miss on Turgo. Darawesh is struck for a point of damage. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 3 random men-at-arms are getting... That is a miss on a man-at-arms. That is a miss on a man-at-arms. And that is a man-at-arms struck. That's fierce. That's 5 points of damage to one of your men-at-arms. Cries out, takes a javelin in the belly, crumples, staggers, pulls it out, claps his hand over. But he's still on his feet. So, that was all the missile fire. Sleep.
These are 2 hit dice creatures?
Hang on a second. They are smaller and their hide is darker than the others, so they might be some different kind. Okay. Gonna open the old monster manual here to let you know for sure. Bless their hearts at Wizards of the Coast. They really did a good job at indexing these PDFs properly, unlike when they first did them back in 2003. Getting to stuff is fairly easy if you know what you're looking for.
I think they had different management then.
Very much so. And re-releasing the PDFs, particularly pulling them off of basically using their retype set versions that they did the reissued copies from. This was essentially the apology to old school players after 4E. But I digress. They are 1+1 hit die.
So 2d4. And I take 2.
Okay.
Boop.
All right.
I'm helping.
Okay, so 2 of them slump to the cavern floor. And that concludes the round. They are now bracing up for your charge. What is Abner doing in the new round?
Sorry, I have one arrow.
Oh, that's right. Fire your other arrow.
No problem.
You are blessed.
Ooh, nat 20. Sweet.
Okay,
Oh.
doesn't matter.
Cuff Funk. Roll your damage.
3.
Okay, you wound one of them, and it hisses and kind of makes a screechy sound at you.
Nice.
Okay. So let's get action declarations. Mark, what is Abner doing?
I believe the other 2 are probably going to charge or close to combat. So Abner's going to form up behind his bodyguards and kind of carefully move forward so he's in better oil throwing range.
All right.
He's going to stay out of combat, so like 20 feet or so, but that's better range for him to
Okay.
throw oil.
So your 2 bodyguards are moving into melee in this round, so that will take them the entire round. TK, what is Sir Outlier doing? Bless has settled over the party.
Yep. Can I charge?
Yes, you may, and that will go before initiative. But after declarations, what is Turgo doing, and what are you having Darawish do?
Well, if I see if I see Outlier charge, I'll order Darwish to charge as well, and I'll
All
just engage.
I'm sorry, you'll just what?
I'll just move into combat.
Okay.
Not
All right.
non-charge.
And Leo and Nerm, that's TK. Your two people.
Yeah. All right. So so if I'm taking them, I'll have them advance behind, so they'll be second file with Pike.
Okay, charges are executed first. Darwish will charge with a capital C. That is at +3 because bless. But given the rocky floor, he is not able to bring his weapon to bear and keep his footing. What'd you get?
Ooh, not great. That's 12 total for a fourth level fighter, so AC 6, I think.
Let me see.
Yep, AC 6.
Yeah, no, the one you're charging at manages to kind of dash out of the way before.
The dog's currently passed out.
All right. Everyone advances, and you're now in toe-to-toe with them. So they will get counterattacks against Darwish and against Outlier. You are at -1 on your defense because of your charge.
Yep.
2 4s. So no, you guys are actually fine.
DM.
Yes.
I forgot about my bless. If that was 1 point higher, would that have hit?
You had AC 6, correct?
Yeah, if it was AC 5, would that have hit?
Yes, that would have.
Can I roll my damage?
Sure, go ahead. We're not at the round.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
10.
It's like a 10. Okay, so you slay one. It's like in football. If you can get the ref's attention and get him to review a play before the ball is snapped again, then you can possibly get a call overturned.
I gotta remember. Oh, also, if you were within range for that bless, that's going to be a boon for your saving throw as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you guys are now bunched up on them and the smell is affecting you. So everyone needs to give me a save. I'll roll for Darwish. He's fine. Abner
succeeded. I'm going to roll for my bodyguards.
Yeah.
One bodyguard is sickened.
Yeah, same.
Turgo failed.
Okay, well, you don't rely that much on strength, but you are now, like, you feel bile rising up in your throat. You've smelled this before. It's pretty awful.
It smells like coffee.
Huh? I'm sorry, what?
It smells like coffee.
Oh, okay.
The whole the whole like burnt skunk thing.
Gotcha.
You're going to find better coffee, dude.
So there are currently 3 kind of holding the front line. You've slain 1, 2 are lying on the floor. They're still breathing. Alrighty, I know what they're doing in the next round. Mark, what is Abner doing now in this new round?
Abner's going to be taking some oil out of one of his bodyguards' backpacks, preparing to throw it.
So you're preparing to throw oil. TK, Sir Outlier, going to melee.
Is there any chance my dog's awake at this point? He's been passed out for about, I think, 3 rounds, I think.
No.
Okay, forget to ask. Then yeah, I will wade in, and I will have both of the men-at-arms wade in with spears as well.
Okay. Doomsword Turgo going to engage in melee.
Yes.
All right. Darwish will do the same. And the men-at-arms. I mean, you guys basically are getting multiple hits on these things. So Doomsword, roll initiative, please.
3.
Okay. They are turning to flee. You may all strike at them at +4.
Excellent. Just one weapon or both weapons?
Both, if you have both drawn.
I sure do. So +3. Okay.
They take 10 from the followers and 17 from me. Or no, sorry, 16. 15. There we go. 9 + 6. Come on, math.
Okay.
Harold, bodyguard of Abner, hit for 3 points.
Okay.
And both of my attacks hit.
Okay.
Both Leo and Nerm to stab.
I did a total of 10 points of damage.
Darwish also hits. There is just one of them who is taller and a paler brown-green color. And between yourself and Darwish, you cut down that one. And it dies. So let me have a quick gander at... Now, you can wake your dog up, or your dogs. You basically shake them, and they'll come back around. That sleep can essentially be negated but it takes a round. Basically, that's your round, is shaking someone, throwing water on them, smacking them in the face, what have you. Did someone spring a leak?
No, sorry. That's the girlfriend.
Okay, so there are 2 that are still breathing that are, and there are, well, I mean, there's a total of 5 that are still breathing, but 2 of them are asleep on the cave floor, and 3 of them are held.
Shall we dispose of them?
I see no reason why not.
All right, and they are dispatched with alacrity. Now, one thing you do notice is that, again, these are smaller, darker brown-colored troglodytes. They all stink. It is foul. It is awful. And that smell is still affecting you guys. Let me see. So the first time you got affected, we'll just do this for everybody, just one grand roll. Yeah, your strength points are going to drop for another 2 rounds, 1 point per round, until the air here clears or you get used to it or what have you. However, the larger, paler troglodyte that was apparently in charge of, or in some ways leading these things, is bedecked with some various bits of jewelry.
We will relieve it of said jewelry.
Okay, you get. Well, I will share this with you later, so don't scramble trying to write this down. You get a piece of jewelry that it's like a what do you call it? A gorget, whatever it is. That is it is gold with gems embedded in it. A wrought gold armband, a silver armband with gems in it, And also draped around its necklace is a golden chain studded with gemstones. Very, very, very nice looking.
I guess they have the whole like Aztec thing going on.
Actually, no, it doesn't look like they wrought this themselves at all. This looks like finery definitely from a different age and from a different locale, but what you guys know about troglodytes, they're not creators of anything except horribleness.
Cool.
So
shall we press on from here? I don't think this was the last room of troglodytes that we've encountered, right?
Yes, I mean,
sorry.
I'm not speaking for any PCs
Yeah.
or trying to tell you guys what to do, but there is the fundus that leads out of this room, sort of the exit to the south in the corner of this room.
Yep, we may as well proceed.
One of the hirelings, I think maybe Leo or Nurm, is very hurt. Should we heal them up first?
Which hireling did eat it?
Leo.
Okay. All right.
Spear to the gut.
Yeah. Can I burn a cure light wounds, DM?
Absolutely.
He only gets 2 points back.
Okay.
But,
He is appreciative for having gotten it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Outlier. The pain is lessened somewhat.
What is his hit point? What are his hit points at, though? I can keep track. Yeah, how much did he take?
He lost 5.
Ouch. Okay, so he's a 4 or 7.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Did anybody, Turgo, did you need anything? You all right?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's form up and head south.
Okay, so you are back in the long, approximately 15, 20 foot wide chamber, which likewise has a similar exit in its far end. And I should point out that by now you are no longer affected by the odor. Yeah, I'll say with your spell casting and your searching and whatnot and the time that's passed, 10 rounds have passed. So you advance through the room and look to the south. And looking to the south from its exit in the far end, you see that there is a tunnel that extends further to the south, and it looks like it has a couple of side tunnels or chambers to the left and right, maybe 20 feet from where you're currently at.
Shall we scout ahead, Turgo?
Yeah, I believe so.
And by we, I mean you.
Yeah, nose goes.
Yeah, I'll sheath my weapons and I'll use my new collapsible 10-foot pole.
There you go. Yeah, just takes you takes you a few moments to snap that together, and you've got it. You're probing ahead.
Attempting to move silently, of course.
Of course.
Tap, 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 tap.
Tappa, tappa, tappa. Okay. You traipse on down the hall, avoiding any piles of pebbles or dry bracken on the floor, anything like that. And you are relatively quiet. You have about 20 feet down. You have passages to both your left and right.
All right, and so how far have I? When I make it to those passages and take a right, as I typically do, will these guys being 35 feet behind me, will these guys see that I actually went in that direction? I want to make sure they know where I go. So is it 35 feet long? It's
not that far if you're going to the right passage or to the left passage for that matter. It's only about 20 feet, and since they have to have a light source for Abner, then yes, they can see you. You're okay. Just in the outer radius of that. Now, I should point out that these passages are very narrow. You will go one person at a time. They're only a couple of feet wide.
Brilliant. But I can walk normally, right?
Yes, you don't have to wedge yourself in or jettison any equipment to do so. It's just you're going to go single file down there.
Okay, I'm going to walk extremely carefully through there with the pole directly out, like, perpendicular, pointed out from me. I'm not so concerned about the floor, but I'm concerned about anything that I happen to notice up ahead. More concerning on the floor is just maintaining a sure foot.
Okay. So is the party kind of following him up to that narrow passage?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll switch to my bill.
Okay.
Doomsword, Turgo went right, correct?
Correct.
Abner will peer down the left passage with a torch.
Okay, Abner, with your torch looking down the left passage, that curves northward, and it looks like it kind of it goes northward and then curves around a corner, so you can't really see beyond maybe 25. Well, no, less than that, more like 20 feet. In that direction. Turgo, you are maintaining your distance ahead of the party, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so this chamber that you've just entered is about 20 feet north and south and 40 feet long, and there is a large hulking troglodyte and two they're the darker skinned troglodytes like the ones you faced before, but they are the size of normal troglodytes, and it turns and points at you and croaks, and they all rush forward to do battle with you. So since you're kind of there by yourself, what are you going to do? What are your intentions?
All right, well, I definitely don't want to be flanked by these things, and I don't think anybody will get in here quick enough. So you
are at a position where you would not be flanked since you're just coming into the room from the tunnel.
Okay, so I'm still flanked by stone cavern, basically. So
correct.
Hold this. Okay.
If they flank you from this point, you are the worst tactician to ever walk on the world of Greyhawk.
Yeah, but you have heard of me.
Very good.
I'm just gonna go ahead and drop. I'm gonna drop that pole, and I guess I'll draw both of my weapons.
Okay. Alrighty. So they are moving across the floor towards you. The two large, dark-skinned types and the very large, paler skinned one are rushing up. They're basically moving in this round. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. The rest of you hear the hissing and croaking coming from the direction that Turgo went. So, Turgo, roll initiative, please.
I'll make sure I'm second.
Okay.
I got 5.
Okay. You will go first before they can act. Like I said, it looks like they were going to move across the room. Are you going to meet them halfway? Are you going to wait for them to come to you, or what?
And how long is this narrow passage that I traversed to get to this chamber?
Let me see here. It's not that long. It's really only about 20 feet.
All right, I'm backing out of that thing.
Okay. So your choice is to move backwards. They are moving forward. You run almost directly into Outlier. You have just enough room there that you can kind of squeeze past him and get in and put him in the front if that's what you wish to do.
Yeah, and I want to explain to them, hey, there's enemies beyond. Let's bottle them here. Or go. But I ain't going first.
Okay, so the troglodytes have crossed the room, and you can see them now. There are 3 largish troglodytes. They're almost like average person size, which for troglodytes is fairly big. So you are in the front lines now, Outlier. What are you going to do in this round? Because they are close enough to attack you.
And this is what you might call tight quarters?
It has widened out here somewhat. Getting to the point where it sort of widens out and reverse funnels out into the room is a bit of a trick, but here you've got room to fight.
Okay. So I have room to swing my war sword then, so I will do so.
All right, then in this round, you roll initiative since you're right there. But before you do that, Abner, you are basically at the back because you were investigating that passage.
Yeah.
From that direction, you hear a hissing and groaning sound that you have come to associate with these things.
Coming from the passage that I was looking into.
Yes. Everyone who is close to these things also now, again, give me a saving throw versus poison.
Hey. I don't think Leo and Nerm need to yet.
No, not yet. Darwish failed his. He's trying to push forward and is like, hub. Ugh. And everyone who failed is losing a point for the next 3 rounds.
Is Abner and his bodyguards close enough that he needs to save?
No, you don't have troglodytes on you yet.
Okay. Abner will hide behind his bodyguards and will face the passage I was investigating, and he'll keep an eye to make sure whenever someone shows up, he can deal with it.
Okay. Then did we already roll initiative?
I just did. It's a 4.
It's a 4. Okay. And I got a 6. So 3 troglodytes all striking at the good dwarf. That is a hit. That is a hit. That is a miss.
Okay. AC 0 did something.
Yeah. Sorry. Nat 20 and a 19.
Hey, no, dude, it happens.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the dark-skinned ones and the light-skinned one both strike you. You take, let me see.
So by light and dark, do you mean like olive drab and like forest green? Or sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's a legitimate question. It's kind of a greenish brown, like sort of a rotting foliage color. Now, dang it! I just had the player's handbook open. Where did it go? Thank you.
Nice coat, maybe.
Let's see. Just looking at weapon damage. You were poked with a javelin, and you take 6 points from that.
Okay.
The other blow is from a stone hand axe. That is from the large light-skinned one. And that is going to do you. Come on. 2 Just a second. I promise we're getting there. There we go. That's another 1d6. And that is 4 points of damage.
So 9 from 2d6, huh?
Yes.
Ouch. Okay.
Some days you get the bear, and someday the bear gets you. So Darwesh is moving up by your side at this point, looking a little green around the gills, but he will fight with you in the next round. Return fire, please.
Hit AC 5. It's bisected.
Well, let's see. The Trog. How much damage did you do?
12.
12. That is just enough to lay it low. It drops.
So I take 2 hits, but I take 1 with me.
Exactly. The other 2 are fighting ferociously, croaking at the top of their amphibian lungs. Right about that time, them old Duke boys looked like they were in a heap of trouble. In the back of the party, coming out of the tunnel, is another small party of troglodytes, 3 in total. So we're going to treat this as one big combat. In the next round, Darwesh will melee with you against these 2 up front. In the back, what is Abner doing?
Abner is going to cast Web deep through that passage that these 3 are coming at me at, so I can sort of trap them all, I think.
Abner.
What?
Worst comes to worst, yell at my dog to eat them.
Oh, I forgot about your dog.
He'd be back there with you. He's of no use up in front with me.
Does Abner speak Dwarvish?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Good. Then you know how to say dead baby. You're good.
I had to look that up. So Abner wants to plug that passage up and catch the 3 of them together in a web, if he can.
Okay. What about Turgo? What's he doing? He's kind of in the middle here. You right. Hear sounds of troglodytes behind. You know you've got troglodytes before, so you're in the vanguard. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I want to go back to back to where I hear the troglodytes coming up from the rear, basically.
Okay.
And help Abner and his guys out with that situation.
All right. So the men-at-arms, being seasoned explorers with the rest of you, make a hole, and we'll give you enough room that they can get you past. So you're moving in this round.
Right, because he's got Darwesh. So Outlier has Darwesh and his couple men-at-arms with spears or whatever too, right? So
okay, so
under control.
Mark, why don't you go ahead and roll initiative, please?
Sure. 6.
And a good thing too. I rolled a 5. Party will go first. I'll make Darwesh's attack. Oh, a 17. That is a nice hit from Darwesh. He stabs one of these foul things and slays it outright.
Excellent.
And these are, again, the ones all on the front. So go ahead and do your thing there, Outlier. DK421, why aren't you at your post?
Oh, sorry. Can my dog bite? God, that explains why I haven't heard anything. Okay, that's fair. I forgot I was on mute.
Waiting for you to roll, bud.
Yeah, no. Can my dog bite anyone? Because he's back with Abner. So is there anyone in range for my dog?
Oh yeah, the dog's in a target-rich environment.
He's gonna get caught in the web. Crap.
Yeah, the dog's in
Well,
the web.
hopefully, my thinking is with the dog is that he's low enough.
Yeah, we'll find out how devious Bill ends up being.
That's fair. I hope my dog is short enough. That's all.
It'll be the running gag of whatever Abner casts catches the dog.
The dog does not make his saving throw versus the stink of these things. So let's see. That's close. That's real close. Let's see. Um,
I mean, hey, if worst comes to worst, if the dog's passed out, he's not dead.
Yeah.
So the bad news is the dog is caught in the web. The good news is he can tear himself loose in rounds instead of turns.
Good.
And
Big dog.
roll for the
Okay.
well, when you save, you're either completely caught or you're just a little stuck. It's not a function of strength. Now I'll roll for the trogs.
Okay. And I'll roll for my men-at-arms.
The largest of the trogs is just caught a little bit, and he's trying to tear himself loose. But the other two are completely enwebbed. And did you make your attack on the troglodyte in the cave with you, Outlier?
Can Leo and Nurm hit?
No.
Okay, then I miss.
Okay. Alrighty. You are now there, Turgo. You can see the dog and the trogs are lost in the fog. No, the dog and the trogs are webbed up in the mouth of the tunnel across the way.
Yeah, does it look like I can get clear shots at those trogs, being that they're taller than the dog, or did the dog like leap and get?
Yeah, this is not a. These are static targets. You'd have to like shoot at the dog to hit the dog.
I'm not doing that, and I'm not lighting the web on fire, so I'll use missile.
Appreciate
it. So go ahead and you can fire one in this round as you're just getting in position.
Much appreciated. However, it's a miss.
Okay, yeah, just sticks in the web. Mark, what is Abner doing? Not throwing a flaming oil, I'm guessing?
No. I guess Abner will...
So no, you're not throwing a flaming oil?
Yes, he's throwing all the oil.
It's all at once.
I have explosive arrows, so maybe that'll help.
Yeah. This is all a very tight situation. Abner thinks it's best if he just stands back with his bodyguards and lets those people who know what they're doing attack.
I gotcha. I cast fire trap on all my flasks of oil and leap down into the orc lair when we let the guy who's usually a paladin play a druid. Okay, so you also hear sounds of clacking and hissing coming from the south, and this is much louder.
Okay, so Abner will be preparing to cast a spell in that direction then.
Okay.
When he sees the white of their eyes or whatever's appropriate for a troglodyte.
Pale yellow, but yeah. Okay. So in the new rounds, those of you who are in the chamber on your right, you have one troglodyte left. I'm guessing you're going to try and dispatch it. Those of you on the left are going to shoot arrows, and those of you facing the south are going to confront this new terror.
And my dog will be chewing its way free.
Yeah. Okay. Let's roll initiative. We'll just start back at the top of the rotation with Mark.
I did it just last time. TK, you do it.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, 5. That paid off.
Nice.
Okay.
Shitty D20 rolls.
It is an initiative tie, but she is thrusting at you with a javelin, so it's kind of an unwieldy thing. But it might not be as unwieldy as your two-handed sword. It just occurred to me.
War swords are the slowest, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and that is just a flat out. Yeah. Fortunately, there are no critical fumbles in AD&D, folks. I know our players get enthusiastic and say nat 20 a lot, but AD&D it's very streamlined. So in this case, he just misses. He just misses and doesn't look very good as he misses. She stabs with a javelin at him, actually. Oh, and there we go. I rolled a 1 and then I rolled a 20. And she pricks him for a point of damage. Outlier, do something terrible.
Well, good news.
Do something excellent.
Yeah. So I guess I slip in from Flug up to a Shidle Howl across the back of its head. That's 13 points of damage to it.
Okay.
There's a standard play from Joachim Meyer for you. Come up, crack them right in their head.
It is actually not dead.
Son of a
Yeah.
Outlier's met something he can't hit. He can't kill with one hit.
When I dropped the hit dice for this thing, I was like, wow, okay, all right. It's a tough customer. So it's still,
you, sir.
out in the hall, shoot your arrows, and I forgot they are effectively held, so you will be attacking them at +4 for both your shots, Doomsword. And just take them both now.
All right. Thank you. And that last shot would have missed anyway. It was a roll of 4. Not much better on the first one, but the second one hits armor class 4.
Okay, both hit.
The first one hit armor class 9, so that would.
Oh! I'm sorry. I thought you said not bad on the first. Okay, I misunderstood you.
No,
Yes.
Yeah. Apologies.
The second one hits.
Yeah, and it does 5 points of damage.
Are you aiming at at the larger, paler one, or at the one of the two dark ones?
The one who's trying to claw his way out. I assume.
Okay,
so
the larger, paler one. Over here. Okay. Then Abner Kadabra, the hissing and groaning and clicking and croaking sounds coming from the south are growing ever closer. You suspect that they'll be on you in the next round or so. Okay. Back in the Great Chamber, you guys are going to hack and slay, I'm guessing. More arrow shots out here from Turgo. Let's go ahead and roll initiative, and I think we are down to Doomsword for initiative.
One quick question.
Yes.
Does that guy who I just hit, who seemed to be less entrapped by the web, does it look like he's going to be out right away?
No, you did pot him with a couple of arrows, but he is still, it's like one here and then like one in the thigh. So
yeah,
but
still... I mean, out of the web. Sorry for not.
Oh, no.
Okay, so he's still stuck. He's still clawing around and stuff.
Yeah, he's still trying to tear his way loose.
Can Leo and Nerm get attacks in this round or no?
No, because they would have to approach the web and potentially get stuck in it too.
Yeah, I figured.
That's the bear of the web spell. It's like you can cork with it, you can take out an entire room full of monsters, but you got to know your limitations with it. So,
well, I didn't mean that side. I meant like over my head.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, then yes, over your dwarfy head, Leo can attack. Nerm cannot.
That works. I'll take it.
They're still in a narrow place. Leo can attack. So, Doomsword, go ahead and roll initiative, please.
3.
Party goes first. Missile fire goes first. Take your first shot.
And this will be a +4, you say?
Yes.
All right, and that hits AC 6.
That will actually miss.
Yeah.
And you can just now see it at the edge of your source of light, some perhaps 40 feet away in a larger cyst. There's a large group of troglodytes marching north very, very rapidly. They will be at you, ready to melee in the next round. So keep that in mind when we come back around to you, Mark. Melee in the main chamber, off to the left. I will roll for our Doty men at arms. Better, but still sucks. So roll for your attack there, TK, and then roll for Nerm.
Nerm misses with AC 7. I'm pretty sure I hit with AC 1. I
Yes.
do 13. I rolled a 7 again.
All right, you decapitate it, and it drops on the floor. And like the other pale skin one that you saw before, the pale skin one on the floor here is decked out in a couple of pieces of fancy looking bling.
Cool.
All right. In the next round.
I should have a second shot. Sorry.
Oh, take your second shot.
That one will hit AC 3. So
that hits, yes.
And that's against the bigger one. That's 2 points of damage, though.
Okay. Okay. So away to the south west, like I said, is this large party. They are marching up in this round. Mark, what is Abner going to do?
Use web again. Capture them if they can, but definitely block them that are coming from the south.
Okay. Try. So you're just going to try and web as many of them as you can. I gotcha. This is where I wish. Let's see. So you're going to try and fill the quarter with as much web as possible, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mainly want to block them at the moment, but
Okay.
catch them if I can. That'd be cool.
A semi-permeable wall.
No, I don't want them to come through.
Catch them if you can. Catch them if you can. All right.
Has the dog broken out of the web yet?
No.
Damn.
Well, that also means the one that Turgo is winnowing away has not as well.
Okay.
So.
Because one of my hirelings is like holding a torch, going, "Can I?"
Yeah. Right.
No,
Yeah.
not yet.
This is a huge number of troglodytes. This force, they're hissing, they're rushing forward. They don't look particularly pleased at all by your presence. And where at this point in the hall, it is going to be at least 5 across that they will be able to attack. It is a fairly broad gallery that you're looking down to the south. So, fairly warned be ye, says I.
Definitely don't like that.
All right.
Put up a web. Leave.
So, are you gathering the jewelry now there?
Yeah, I will, or I'll leave another follower to do it. Are there any other targets or anything I can see or worry about within my immediate vicinity?
Not in this room. There is on the north wall at the far end of the chamber, there is an opening that goes to the north. So there's that, but nothing has come out of it.
Okay, I'll poke my head in there, checking for anything involving stonework, new construction, anything obvious, containers, etc.
Okay, no containers. There's an earthy, loamy smell coming from there, and this is all natural living rock cave.
Okay. Yeah, let's just get the money and go.
Okay, and this, when you look to the north and you're checking the stonework and so on and getting the odor, it goes about 10 feet and then turns sharply to your left as you look to the north. So there's another chamber just beyond it.
The west. Yeah.
All right. So you're grabbing, let's see. You are grabbing a couple of pieces there. That's 16 and
So,
7.
party, to be clear, I guess we're getting out of Dodge.
Well, there's no way to go except deeper into it, right? Because from the south was the way we came, wasn't it?
No,
So these
no.
guys.
No, we were going south.
Oh, we were going south.
That's my understanding. DM, please correct me. These
Yes,
people
you
going
were
south.
you were essentially headed south.
Yeah, and they're coming
Okay,
up
so
at us.
when I turned right, then that would have been to the west.
Yeah.
And left, that's webbed up, is on the east.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think we should fall back and leave as expeditiously as possible.
Do you think?
Well, we're not hurt, right? I mean, if Outlier
Yet.
gets up here and Darwish gets up here, and we got like say 10, 12 trogs down there, and we only got 2 that are webbed on the east side.
Okay, guys, you're talking about tactics and stuff is happening.
Yep.
I'm just letting you know. So the trogs are rushing forward. We want a web spell. Is Turgo going to shift fire to the southeast, or is he going to continue to pepper the ones webbed in the narrow hall?
Yeah, I would like to shift fire, and I would like to yell out to Outlier and Darwish that we got trouble.
Okay.
Just fighting withdrawal.
Okay. Then, since it's an important initiative roll, Mark, roll initiative, please.
Oh, great. It'll be my fault. A 4.
You guys go first. How many segments is web, please?
Web is 2 segments.
2 segments. Okay. Where they are, they can move.
At least we can choke them.
All right. You catch them mid-stride, and I need to make just a crap ton of saving throws. Well, you know what? They're webbed regardless of its rounds or turns. I'm not really going to debate that because you guys aren't sticking around, no pun intended. The one you've been pranging, Turgo, also has jewelry on it, just in case that affects anyone's decision to leave or to stay. And your dog is still caught in the web.
Hour.
So what to do?
Well, I plan on grabbing my dog and moving back to a choke point.
Okay. So you guys are falling back.
Velcro dog.
Well, the webs mostly have the dog's armor stuck, so you can pull him out of his leather jack because he did kind of make a save. So I will deem that you can pull him out of his armor. He will just be unarmored at that point. Okay. So these things are probably cursing you and hissing and yelling as you guys are falling back out of there. Where are you going?
Where's the nearest choke point?
Well, I mean, you've got one right behind you in the cave that you just fought 3 troglodytes.
No,
Well,
we should go north to. I believe we are just south of a 15-foot wide gallery. I think you were calling it.
Mm-hmm.
Which was south from where we were fighting trogs just at the beginning of the session.
That is correct.
So if we're in that gallery, we can have a line across a very narrow opening, unless they have other ways to get in. But
that's fair. Let's make that our Alamo, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just follow these guys.
My dog will stay in the back with you, Abner, in case anything happens.
Sounds good.
I love and hate web. I mean, I absolutely, you guys are using it to tremendous effect, but from a DM standpoint, it's like, all right. So duration on this is going to be a long time. It's 2 turns a level.
Yep, and I'm level 5, so that's a long time.
Okay.
So we can
I
fall back. Sorry,
I was completely wrong about the saving throws. Saving throw negates. Saving throw completely negates So I do need, unfortunately, to make a crap ton of saving throws. Fortunately, I just said unfortunately, but fortunately, we actually have a Discord bot that can handle that many, and we'll see how many of these oily bastards are able to get through. So let me step into Disquad here for a second. Did you know a red mic icon means the person talking to you has muted you? No, and I don't care. Okay, so let's see. I know how many are down there, so I gotta come over here and I gotta do this. Where is the Dice Maiden? There it is. She's cute, but she's no familiar. What can I say? Wow, okay. They all failed. Not all of them, but all of the important ones it has. So let's see. Oh, that's okay. Let's see here. I don't believe that. Is that it? So 4 troglodytes fight their way free of your web.
Woo!
4 troglodytes.
Sounds good to me. I don't see what the problem is, Bill.
Hey, eventually the rest of them will fight their way free. But crazy idea, why don't we just set all the webs on fire right now?
Let's deal with the 4 first.
Yeah, so these 4 come rushing into the cave, and we'll just start the round. You see them round the corner. You're in the elongate cave that's about 15 feet wide. Have you set up your choke point at the far end of it or in the middle of it?
The moment they run through that door, they're getting stabbed.
Yeah, it should be right there.
Okay, so it's at the far end, at the fundus of this cave. So they're moving up. You can see them moving up. It's not an ambush type situation. They're not just going to run up onto your spears. So these are... Okay, I know what they're going to do in the round. Party, go ahead and give me your declarations, because I'm guessing you're going to melee them if they come close enough to you, yes?
Yep.
Abner is staying out of trouble in the back with the dog. That's his plan.
Okay. That's a solid plan, and I, the DM, approve of this, even though I am, neutral in all matters. So let's go ahead, and why don't you roll initiative, please? TK, it's your turn.
Okay, initiative 4.
All right, they do not move forward. They actually, let me see. Yeah, they don't move forward into your melee range. They turn and go right back out, hissing and screeching, and they dart into that as you look to the south right hand room where you fought the troglodytes before, just a few minutes ago.
Can I prang one with an arrow as it flees?
Sure. Then if I'm doing that, I'll let Doomsword take a shot also.
All right. I'll take a shot. Nothing wrong with a free shot.
Yeah.
Sure.
AC 4.
That will hit.
If 4 hits, one hit.
Oh, big 6.
4.
Okay, so...
Twang.
Okay, yeah, your arrows thud into their hides, and they make their escape to the south and presumably to the west.
I'm worried that they know something about these caves we don't and will be sneaking up on us.
What do, adventurers?
Shall we light the webs on fire and then leave?
Well,
I don't think we
should probably light the
necessarily
webs
have
on
to
fire.
leave.
Okay. I'm getting low
Let's
on
light 'em
spells.
up.
Okay. So we'll first light up the web that is in the left passage.
Okay.
I think there was three trogs in there. One of them has not quite escaped yet, I hope.
He has not quite escaped.
Light that web on fire.
Okay.
And I'll light the other one.
Okay, so the one to the south goes up with a whoosh, and the one to the east goes up with a whoosh. The corridor is filled with the stink of burning magical webs and troglodyte. It is horrible. It is a choking, horrible odor, and it is cutting down your visibility to about 20 feet in any direction
And
because of this.
the web spell says it will be 2 to 8 points of damage.
2 to 8 points of damage is correct. So we're just going to keep this nice and simple. And let's see. Hang on a second. So we're just going to call it them. Please roll roll your damage.
4 points of damage.
4 points of damage. So let's see. Okay. And the webs are all gone now. I just got to enter in some figures on the... Let's see. And those two... Actually, no, those weren't webbed. They were just fleeing, and all those have fled. And there are no more webbed. I used the wrong ones, but that's okay. We'll just flip that around. All right, so, yeah, a bunch of them char and die, and a bunch of them don't. Turgo, roll your 2d8 for the ones that are webbed over on your side, because you set it on fire.
7.
Wow, okay.
That's big money right there.
That is. Unfortunately, they all survive. So there are a bunch of charred and pissed off troglodytes to your south and to your east. It's a new round. Let's start with Abner. What's he doing?
He will cast Monster Summoning 1. 30-foot range. Is that behind the trogs to the south?
Yeah, they're close enough. You can drop it on them.
I will drop Monster Summoning 1 behind them to attack them from behind.
Behind them. Okay.
I'll probably get like squirrels, but whatever. It'll be
Whatever.
Buys you time.
I still have quite a few spells left as well. So as far as healing, etc., I've got 3 first and still 2 seconds. So
okay. I'm basically will be running out.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, I can hold things.
Now,
All
Bill,
right.
were any of the troglodytes on that left passage that had been webbed first, are they still alive?
Yes, very much so.
Crap. Okay.
Yeah, and they are now facing Turgo, and they look pissed.
Yeah, one of them ended up taking some damage though. So.
Oh yeah, no, they all took damage. They all took damage.
I'm talking about the one I shot a couple of times.
Yes, he had taken damage. Okay, so you're casting monster summoning. What are the rest of you doing? Just preparing for battle?
Yeah.
I cast Fist.
You cast Fist. Okay.
Well, actually, in this instance, I'll cast Arrow, but yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, Darwesh will attack.
Darwesh will do just that. So will the men at arms. Mm-hmm. So who were we to for initiative? Who was that? Was that your turn there, Doomsword?
I believe so.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
4.
It is an initiative tie. They will move up, which means they will take an arrow in this round. And they are now too close to shoot, but you can shoot them as they move forward.
Yep. One of them takes 3.
One of them takes 3.
Twang.
Okay.
Mark off the arrow.
Alrighty. They move up in this round, so I will roll for Darwesh, and if you guys want to roll for your men at arms, the area that you're at is narrow enough that you can fight 3 across. So it's Darwesh, Outlier, and a man at arms in the front rank, and a man at arms stabbing over Outlier's head with a pole arm. So,
yep.
Both of yours did hit?
No, miss.
Miss. Okay. Darwesh missed. So I think that's the end of it. You're right there also, Turgo. So you can swing at them if you wish.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'd like to do. And if somebody needs to like fall back and me take their place, I'll command them to do so, whatever.
If you can swap with a follower, it'd be great. If we can
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. But if I can attack now, I guess I'll attack now and I'll command that follower to beat it out of there. The long sword hits. Oh, and the dagger hits. Both of those hit. Well, at least AC4 and AC2. So,
yes, that is absolutely sufficient.
The longsword does 9 points of damage.
Okay, you kill that one outright.
Okay, I don't know if the short, the dagger needs to take place on him, or if it can be another guy, but that would be 3 points of damage from that.
It's just one target, unfortunately.
That's what I figured. That's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, you cut that one down, and there's man at arms yelling for you to get back in the ranks, my lord. Mark, you summon 8 beings. You got extremely lucky on that 2d4 roll. You summon 8
giant
hamsters. Hamsters. Gerbils.
Bees. They fly right over the enemy and attack us.
Bees.
They smell
really?
You summon Mobats.
8 orcs appear in the rear of the ranks of the. Let's see.
Well, okay then.
And in classic summon monster sounds, they yell out, "Spare no one!" And we all love it from Baldur's Gate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they are going to hack and reave and slay in the rear ranks of the troglodytes, which we will deal with that because they poof appear. Actually, let me see. Is it poof appear, or do they appear within 1 to 4 rounds? So let's see how many rounds it takes. It'll be 8 orcs in a couple of rounds. Better?
The battle will be all over and some orcs will appear. Like, you're too late, guys.
We can hear them coming, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the moral victory.
Alrighty. So you've got the orcs who are coming in a couple. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, for once we know we have reinforcements.
Yeah.
Exactly. You are giving the troglodytes a little taste of their own with their ambushes and their doubling back and all that sort of thing.
That's fine.
Okay, it's the next round. There's a press of troglodytes at your front melee rank. This bunch is all armed with stone axes that does 1d6 damage each, and these are 1+1 hit die versions. Who are we over for initiative? Mark, I think it's you.
Yeah, but as a declaration, Admiral will be like, "Don't worry, someone's going to show up soon." And meanwhile, sleep.
Nice. I didn't realize you still had the low level users fireball.
Why don't you save it?
Sleep.
Nope,
well,
That's fair.
Alakazat.
I rolled a 3 for initiative.
Okay. Any further declarations? I'm guessing you're going to stay in, and or rather, Turgo is going to rotate out, but the dwarf is staying in.
I'm going to slay with unreserved gusto.
Oh, okay.
He's just pushing letting the follower step back. That way, two followers in the back, and it's me.
I got you.
Darwish in the front.
Okay. All right. So the dwarf is giving the order for all to engage in melee. Yes, the man in the back said everyone attack. Then let's go ahead and roll initiative. Who rolled initiative, and what'd you get?
I rolled a 3.
You rolled a 3. They rolled a 5. It will be 3 across on melee first. It is a miss. That is a miss on Darwish, and that is a miss on Turgo. Counterattacks, please.
And sleep
I'll go ahead and
off,
take
I
mine.
believe.
Sleep will go off.
And you said AC 7 doesn't hit, right?
Correct.
All right, that's a whiff.
Bill, these are 1+1 hit dice.
Yes.
6.
6. Okay.
3 whiffs.
Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the first 2 ranks fall to the floor. The 4 of them. I said there were 4 of them. There are actually only 2 of them. All right, they're hissing and screeching in anger. Did any of the followers hit?
Nope.
Okay.
How about you?
I think he missed as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have yet to take my attacks,
Yeah.
but the sleep went first, right?
Yeah.
That is correct. So there are now a total of 8 troglodytes still awake.
Yeah,
Are they like right there? Did they like crawl over the sleep guys so that I can just continue to attack them, or?
And I'm just annotating something. Didn't want to accidentally have more there than there should be. So yeah, the 6 they're pushing forward. They are pressing forward and stepping over their fallen fellow troglodyte beings.
Right. So I'm engaged, so I can attack. Correct.
Correct.
All right.
You can
sword first. That hits AC 2.
That hits.
And the dagger is a miss.
Okay.
Well, good news, Abner. Next round.
Ooh, longsword does max damage, 11.
Okay, yeah. So you kill one of the still alive ones. Yeah, the large pale ones are actually kind of hanging back and kind of watching this with troglodyte dread. So yeah, well, we'll do that in the next round. New round, guys. Second verse, same as the first. And this, by the way, is the round in which the orcs appear.
Yay!
Can the followers dispatch the sleeping ones because they have pole arms?
Yeah, they can lean over and just stab.
Nice. I'll worry about the living ones.
Right.
Guaranteed kills.
Bill, one of the pale ones was to the left passage. Is that guy taken care of yet?
Taken care of in what sense?
Dead.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right. So.
No, don't need that die. Don't need that die.
All right. So there are 3 that are still slept. Your men-at-arms slay 3 of the 6 sleeping ones, and now the orcs, you kind of realize that they're somewhere in the back there. You can hear their guttural shouts of, again, spare no one, as they wade in against the troglodytes in the back. So let me roll.
So I guess it was the mage in the back who screamed.
Yeah.
But monster summoning is really summon more work for the DM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's fine. It's fine.
I like that tone of voice. It's fine.
I mean, good news. Nowadays we have like macros for that, so to where it's like you can just enter in the d20s and it's just done.
I like rolling my dice.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So you can tell that a troglodyte is brought down, and there's still one of them kind of trying to put up a good fight. There are only 4 troglodytes left standing. The orcs are turning on one of the larger, paler ones that is in the back. He is formerly the one that was in the web. He kind of moved to the back ranks and had these marching forward, where he'd be safe. And then you basically had a paradrop. You landed your airborne forces in his rear areas, and they're now taking heavy casualties. All right. Well, it looks like they're going to fight to the bitter end, though. So at least that's what you think. Next round, are your men-at-arms going to attack more of the sleeping ones?
Question, DM.
Yes.
Can we get our attack rolls in for last round? We didn't.
Oh, my apologies. I thought you guys did. I thought you guys got them at the top of the round. Yeah, no, go ahead. Do your things. Do your thing.
Okay. That hits, I think. It's like AC 3 or something like that.
That will hit, and your casual strength is enough to slay that one.
Okay.
Darawesh, poor guy. He is just ice cold tonight. He misses again.
It makes you feel better. No, actually, I was going to say that was like the first double digits roll I made today, and no, that's the second.
AC5 and AC7.
The AC5 is going to hit, and even your casual damage will kill it.
Yeah, another max 8, which makes it 11. Magic sword.
There you go.
So there's 3 troglodytes left. So as we are actually creeping up to the top of the hour, even with a 100 on their morale, which we'll check that. Oh no, yeah, no, they're throwing down their weapons and belly crawling backwards away from you. What do you wish to do?
Which would be towards the orcs.
Yeah, I guess so.
Abner is just going to spend the round being smug.
Watch the meat grinder happen.
All right. So, in an attempt to supplicate and save their own lives, the 2 remaining are instead slain out of hand by the summoned orcs.
All right.
And that is with the exception of the 4 that fled. That is all of them. The two tall, pale ones also have jewelry on them.
Yeah, let's take the jewelry and go.
Just out of curiosity, so this mass from the south was coming up. What's that room look like?
Well, they came up. It's kind of a roughly triangular room with the northwestern hallway that they came up being at the apex of the triangle. Mm-hmm. But that room, I mean, you would have been able to see them as soon as you came down this hallway the very first time. So there's probably a tunnel out of that room somewhere.
Okay. I do suggest we grab the jewelry and then head back to home, to the longhouse.
Hey, I think that's a great idea.
And then we can come back tomorrow, but I'm spent from spells.
Yep.
Unless I find a door.
Evaluate that jewelry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we want to get you your spells. It's awesome that you have them and you can spend them all, which is great. But it ain't much fun for you after you don't have any.
No, I could just be smug the rest of the night. It's easy.
Yeah, until something comes and attacks.
Exactly.
Well, I have enough gas left to heal anybody that gets hurt, so that at least we can literally get up and do it again the next day. It's not we're not waiting a week or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So none of us will drop that low. So let's collect that stuff, the jewelry from the large ones, and whoever back. I'm worried we're going to be ambushed. So let's proceed cautiously.
Whatever is giving you that idea, Mark?
Well, one, there's 4 that fled in some direction that I'm worried about, and also I see you rolling dice over there, Bill,
and staring direct into the camera.
Yeah.
I'm the dungeon master. I only roll dice because I like the sound that it makes. Ooh, that's a scary number. Let's roll again and see if we get another scary number.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's also very scary. All right, so you withdraw from the dungeon. I will make obligatory checks.
Yep.
And you make it back to the cistern in good order with those 3 pieces of jewelry. Let's see, it's 13, 14, and 15.
You mean jewelry from 3 different?
Yes.
Because the first one you listed already had 4 pieces of jewelry on them.
And then there were...
Correct. There were 3 other pieces of jewelry.
Okay. Gotcha.
A piece of wrought gold, a combined silver and gold wrought piece, and a coral armband that looks... it again is made better than the troglodytes could put together. So that is what you scavenge. I'm going to put a little asterisk here so that I know not to accidentally award you guys this stuff twice. And you got how many pieces of jewelry did you get before?
4.
4. Okay.
That was the first one we got.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a gold
Yeah.
necklace, the gorget eyeball.
Gorget.
Yeah.
Armband. 2 armbands, actually.
Okay. So yeah, even to your somewhat untrained dwarven eye, this is kind of a king's ransom worth of jewelry. And just think of what might be on or in the possession of others if there are still troglodytes. So you make it out, and we will just have a quick check, one last one in the courtyard.
Cool.
And we'll find out what the result of that die roll is next week. So, folks, I hope you all enjoyed that out there in the audience.
And I think if memory serves, I can level one of my classes, which is fun.
Yeah.
So we will catch up with you guys next week. As for the audience, again, if I have power, we'll be here tomorrow doing something. If not, watch a rerun. But until then, thank you to everyone who watched the show tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you to my wonderful players over here. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Love you all. Have a great Tuesday evening. Peace.
See ya.
Ciao.